Right, okay, so by the time you come to this part, hopefully you'll have looked at the whole school language focus for everybody, and we're reminding people about adverbials, and that will help you here, and it will also help you in your own writing as you become better and better at creative writing, and particularly this term, horror writing. So we're going to have a look at how some adverbials work here. Now, we know already that adverbs modify verbs. Modify means change. So the solution reacted doesn't tell us a great deal. The solution reacted quickly gives us more information. Equally, a coastal wall is eroded. Well, we all know that doesn't happen in a day. It takes time. So the coastal wall is gradually eroded. So the adverb modifies that verb. Jonathan Small spoke bitterly about the treasure. Well, it tells us the way in which he spoke. And again, we've got a reaction one. So if the solution can react quickly, well, the French Navy can react aggressively. So we know this much. But what are adverbials? Well, here's a reminder. So adverbials are phrases that contain adverbs, because as a writer, you want to constantly be answering the questions of readers. And questions a reader might have would include: how is something done or said? In what way? When? Where? To what extent? With what? Why? You need to consider these when communicating any writing, and particularly story writing. So without them, your writing is basic and only offers a fraction of what you actually know. If you think back to when you were learning to read, you might have had text with pictures and very simple sentences of Dad is angry, Mum sees rat, and we don't actually know the emotion attached. We're not given details of where this happens, why this happens. We're not going to write our stories in Year 8 in that basic way. We're going to use adverbials. So if you have a little look at some of the examples from the text that you've read, and from Howard's End, if you look at this, we've got an in what way here, and I've emboldened it in red. So about 30 metres away from him, there was a pair of gates, solid gold, encrusted with dazzling white pearls. Well, there's your adverbial. It tells us distance, where it is. But here's another in what way. So he stood up. Now that might be enough. That gives us the information. But this gives us a bit more information about where he is, what's going on. So he stood up, his feet sinking gently into the cloud, which shifted to take his weight. So that adverbial gives us the information. Here's another how. So there'd been a rush of wind and something had nudged his shoulder. Okay, well, we don't actually know if that had been a nudge enough to push him over, if that had been a nudge that would break something. But actually, it turns out there'd been a rush of wind and something had nudged his shoulder very gently. So the creepiness there is added by the adverbial. This one's got a few. This has got when, it's got where. But firstly, we've got however he looked at it. There could only be one answer. He'd been killed, no doubt about it. So the however he looked at it is a to what extent. He'd gone through all possibilities, and the adverbial tells us here that he's racked his brain and tells us about his confusion. Look at this one. The next thoughts came very quickly, all in a jumble. So there's an in what way. There's a how. The adverbials here, well, there's more than one. So it took another hour. At last he reached the gates. So we're given a time frame there with the adverbial. By now, another time frame, Howard had composed himself. He could see heaven in front of him. So that adverbial phrase gives us a bit more information about what we can see. And the final one, it could be a how, it could be in what way. But instead of just saying Howard noticed there was something poking through the old man's hair, it adds a bit more. And now he looked more closely, Howard noticed there was something poking through the old man's hair. So the adverbial is used there as Howard comes to realization. He's been scrutinizing the old man. Now these adverbials need to be in your writing. So your submission task this week by Friday is to write a beginning and ending to a story that links together. Don't write the middle bit, just the beginning and the ending. Look at the success criteria here. Just concentrate on the first two for now, because you'll get all this, it's all on the guidance slides. Thoughtful use of punctuation and sentence structure. Well, we know we're looking to certainly secure, maybe even master use of punctuation. And also adverbials to develop sentences. So when you're giving us information about what's happening, we need to know how, in what way, to what extent, when, where. That information will come with the adverbials. Okay.